So let's move on here. We got the Buffalo Sabres. They were 5th in the Atlantic with the 32-39-11 record, which is 75 points. 11th in the East and 24th in the league. Their head coach is Don Granato. They lost goalie Aaron Dell, goalie Dustin Tokarski, Drake Kagula, Will Butcher, Colin Miller, Mark Pescic, Mark Jankowski, John Hayden. They signed goalie Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. There we go. Victor Olofsson and goalie Eric Comrie, and they also signed Ilya Lyubushkin. Their trades this offseason, they traded future considerations to the Dallas Stars in exchange for goalie Ben Bishop and 2022 7th-round pick. Their 7th-round pick was Joel Radkoff Bernstein from the Swedish juniors. This guy, every time I see Ben Bishop here, I'm like, this dude is just always injured. So why are we picking up Ben Bishop here?
That was basically like a contract dump from the Stars to the Sabres, and they did that in order to basically, I want to say, take up more cap space because of how little they paid their guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that there's going to be almost like another shoot-a-fall or some kind of like goodwill that they're getting from the Dallas Stars in this regard. You know what I mean? But I think like where they can, spend a little more money to eat up that contract space and make some other moves happen. Right. I think that's the real goal here. Mm-hmm. But looking at this team, I am not overly impressed. A guy like Jeff Skinner needs to become the next, Jack Eichel for this team. He needs to fill those shoes quickly, and he seems to have struggled for a little bit, but this last year he seemed to have done a little better for himself. Alex Tuck is another guy that's coming off injury from last season. I think he's going to have to step up a lot on this team.
Yeah.
And Owen Power is actually going to get thrown to the Wolves here, I think, and really be playing, quick NHL minutes and playing a lot of time in front of Craig Anderson and Eric Comrie on the roster here. So I don't have very high hopes for this team. I want the turnaround to go quickly. But
you're missing a key player here, Tage Thompson, getting it done. 38 goals, which is team most, and 30 assists, tied for team second most. Actually, that was his career high stats last season. So Tage Thompson as well. Add him to the list with Jeff Skinner.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I got a few guys getting it done. Again, just a team that's coming up. It's not Buffalo Sabres, not like a Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Toronto team. They're a team just still coming up.
And they don't have guys on their team that I hate or guys on the team that are like underproducing. It's just not working right now, and I think they just need time to get it all together and put the pieces together correctly, because like a Tage Thompson, Casey Middlestat, and Dylan Cousins up the middle, that all looks really good. That's great on paper, I think, and they could compete a little bit, but I don't have too much more to say on this team.
Yeah, Buffalo was like really on the like low pace last season. Remember that? And then, like, all of a sudden, a little after midway through, they went on, like, this 10-game, maybe skid, where just, like, they won, kind of picking up the pace here, figuring shit out. I don't know. I want to see Buffalo come up here. Goalie issue, I guess, to Dustin Tokarski getting rid of, like, their two goalies there. And so you got Craig Anderson, 42 years old, 42 years of age.
I think
Eric
he's surpassed Chara as the oldest player in the league since he hasn't had a contract yet, right?
Wow.
So Eric Comrie,
you are like relying on a 42-year-old. Not saying anything bad about Craig Anderson here, but I don't know. Like at this point, when we've been talking about hockey just in general, like young is the way to go. Young,
and I also think when you look at a guy that's 42 that plays net, think about how much the game has changed since 24 years ago when he came into the league. You know what I mean? Like the entire position has like completely shifted and changed, and just everything in general. Things that your body could have learned at a younger age, can't adjust, and even just wear and tear of hips and knees,
There's a mic'd up, he's got a mic'd up video the Buffalo Sabres put up, I think just recently. They're in practice, and just kind of watching him, you're just like, this guy barely goes down. Like, he's just kind of like a stand-up goalie. I mean, you could get it done, but look at like the top goalies now, like Andrei Vasilevsky, RVH, full splits, just getting it done. Can Craig Anderson do that? No. If there's a like dire situation where he needs to make that stretch across save, I don't think Craig Anderson can get it done. All it might need to be is just like a pass across the crease and just a little tap in on Craig Anderson there. So now you're relying on defense to cover that guy.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
I think if you're paying a guy to be your starting goalie, I would hope that he's able to push across the crease and compete at the level that he needs to. Otherwise, it's going to be a gong show. But no, I do think there is something to the age factor and not moving on to something, shiny, bright, new, and, getting the guys going. But surprisingly enough, I'm taking this team from the 5th seed all the way down to the bottom. They're in the 8th slot for me.
Okay.
And I mean, they, like we talked about too, they only finished in that fifth seed by 2 points. They could have been 7th, and the Montreal Canadiens were cursed last year with injuries and everything. So I think that the Sabres are going to be the worst team in this division next year.
Okay.
Where do you have them slotting in at?
I got them slotting in as 4th.
4th, wow.
Yeah.
So they potentially could be making the playoffs.
Yeah, I like Eric Comrie. I think he didn't get the starts he needed or deserved in Winnipeg Jets, but when he was starting, when he had the starts with Winnipeg, he looked really good. So a great backup for Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson, just a veteran guy that can help Eric Comrie come up. And I think they have a bunch of guys, a bunch of names here that coming up. What if Owen Power just comes out of nowhere? He only played 8 games last season, but this is his first full NHL season.
Yeah, he could be the next Moritz Seider.
Right. So add that. Maybe Owen Power comes in and just lights it up. They have these guys. Maybe Alex Tuck. Last season was his second career highest season that he's had statistic wise. So I don't know. I feel like Buffalo Sabres are definitely more on the rise than you think.
I just think it's a lot of maybes, it's a lot of question marks, and it smells a lot like the Ottawa Senators from a few years ago when they had some puzzle pieces that they were really banking on to click. And I don't know. That's just my take on it, and I'm not getting burned by it again.
I guess we're gonna find out come at the end of the season next season.